The circumstance that happened does not define you. Remind yourself of your wins, your big wins, your small wins. And I want you to write down 3 times in the past that you've overcome challenges. And I want you to reflect on what exactly made you successful, because that strength that you experienced is still in you. You also want to make sure that you are intentional about not isolating yourself. Surround yourself with positive voices, mentors, friends, books, up-leveled podcasts, anything that's going to fuel your belief in yourself and help you to restore your confidence. Welcome to the Published and Paid podcast, where we share book, business, leadership, and life lessons in 20 minutes or less to help you build a thought leadership brand and business. My name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher turned 7-figure entrepreneur, and I am glad that you are here. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Published and Paid podcast, and I am your published and paid coach, Jasmine Womack. And today's episode is all about the power of the comeback. 5 steps to bounce back from any setback. Now listen, I am not new to setbacks. Matter of fact, I would say the past 12 months have been personally the calmest ever. For at least 3 years straight, it was setback after setback after setback personally. While business skyrocketed, personal issues were just hidden. Like life was lifing, as they like to say. But everybody faces setbacks. The only difference with setbacks is how people address and handle their setbacks, and how or handle circumstances that have the potential to be a setback. And so whether it's a failed product launch, whether your book launch didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, whether you had a business opportunity that didn't work out, or whether you just have personal challenges that begin to spill over into your work, setbacks honestly are a part of life. And so you got to remember that it's not the setback that defines you. It's not what happens that paves the way for your prosperity. It's the comeback. It's all in the comeback. It's all in your bounce back. It's all in how you address the situation, how you perceive it, and how you move forward. So let's dive into 5 powerful keys to help you bounce back stronger than ever. All right. So the first thing that you have to do is to acknowledge what's going on and accept it. So many of us, especially high performers like myself, try to brush off challenges or perceived failures, and sometimes maybe either pretend like it's not happening. You try to ignore it and double down into your work so that you don't have to think about it. But the truth of the matter is that sweeping it under the rug only makes it worse, and it delays your healing. So this is where you ask yourself, what went wrong? Was it your fault? Or what role did you play in it? Did you play a role in it? And if you played a role in it, what was your role? And then you have to ask yourself, what was in your control and what wasn't in your control? And when you got to understand that when you accept a situation, that doesn't mean that you're okay with it. It simply means that you're being honest with yourself about the circumstance. And so when you own what's going on, then you can actually learn from it and move forward. The second key is to feel your feelings. You just don't want to get stuck or to stay in your feelings. So you've got to give yourself permission to feel, whether it's frustration, whether it's disappointment, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness. What you're feeling is valid. And too often we tell ourselves to just keep pushing without processing your emotions. And the thing is, you don't need to keep pushing. You need to pause and feel your feelings and allow yourself to feel. This could be you. This could look like you taking 10 to 15 minutes per day to journal about the situation and how you're feeling about it. No filters, no judging yourself, no holding back. This allows you to release the anger and release your emotions around it and begin to clear the path for clarity. I will say this, Even when I am emotional about something, I will journal a lot, but I'm only going to allow myself to stay in the feeling for a couple of days. What I mean by that is that I will give myself 24, 48 hours to be upset about it, to be ticked off about it, to sulk about it, to stay in the bed about it. But after those 24, 48 hours is up, I've got to get up and keep moving. That doesn't mean that I don't feel what I feel. That just means that I'm not going to allow what I feel or how I feel to dictate how I show up. I'm not going to allow how I feel to dictate how I live. I'm not going to allow whatever's going on to stop me from living life. This doesn't mean that I don't feel how I feel. That's why I go get a therapist. That's why I continue to write in my journal. But I'm not going to just sit there and continue to sulk about it, especially if it's a situation where nothing that you can do will change it. And the way that I developed this philosophy, honestly, was from the Bible. When King David and Bathsheba conceived their child, they conceived their child as a result of sin. He committed adultery. Then he sent her husband on the front lines so that he wouldn't find out, because the husband had been away at the military. So King David got this woman pregnant while her husband was away. He tried to get the husband to go back in and be with his wife, but Bathsheba's husband was so committed to his job, he didn't leave. And so since he refused to leave his post, King David put him on the front lines and had him killed. And because of that, because of the indiscretion and because of the murder, God had let him know ahead of time that the baby was not going to make it, because that was one of I'm not saying that hear me. I'm not saying that if you've endured a miscarriage or anything, this is the reason why. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in David's case in the Bible, because y'all know how the internet can get and folks start twisting stuff up and saying that you said something that you didn't say because they lack comprehension. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I would not be that insensitive. What I'm saying is that in the Bible, in the story of David and Bathsheba, this is what happened. That's all this is pertaining to. So please don't relate your own personal situation to what I'm saying. Please, just get the point. Okay, get the point. And I'm making the point. So King David committed this major crime of committing adultery and having this man killed. And his child was taken from him as a result of that. And the thing about it was King David mourned and mourned and mourned and mourned. And he sulked and he wore rags and he put ashes on his outfit. But when the baby passed, when the child passed, he got up, he washed himself off, he put back on his kingly robes, and he went on. And people were asking him, why aren't you mourning? Your child died. And he said, well, I've spent time mourning, but nothing that I do now can bring him back. And when I read that passage, that's one of the things that started to shape my perspective about how to approach grief. It doesn't mean that your heart won't be grieved. It doesn't mean that you won't feel what you feel. It just means that you cannot determine what you're feeling and how you're feeling to dictate how you move forward and live life. And you might have done it. You might have been there. You might know somebody that's in a space right now where it's been months or maybe even years and they just haven't snapped out of it. Or it could be you. And it's the thing about it is you've got to accept it. You've got to learn from it. If there's a learning lesson, okay? And you've got to find forgiveness and you've got to move forward. What you can't do is stay mad and be in that mad space. What you can't do is be sad and stay in that sad space because life is moving on. So this is where if you still need emotional support, you go get a therapist. And you journal your feelings out. You get a support system, but you don't stay in that space where you're just sulking and by yourself and sad all the time. Feel your feelings, but don't stay in it. Resilience is not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally intelligent. Key number 3 is that you want to extract the lessons. Now, there's going to come a point in time where it's time to mine the gold from your experience. You know that saying, every cloud has a silver lining? Well, every setback that you experience has a lesson. It's something that you can learn and that you can take into your journey with you the next go round. But you've got to be intentional about finding it and focusing on it and remembering it. So ask yourself, what did this situation teach me? What did I learn from this situation? What did I learn about myself? Is there anything that I can do differently next time? Or how can I approach this situation the next time? So I want you to think about setbacks like a part of life, like it's going to happen, but there's a lesson in it. So you've got to not just dwell on the negative, but you've got to leverage the lesson to help you become a better person. Key number 4 is that now after you've accepted it, right? You've extracted the lessons. You've accepted it. You felt your feelings. You've extracted the lessons. Now you've got to reset and refocus. Because once you've gathered your learning insights and your takeaways, and once you've gathered your lessons, now it's time to reset and get back on track. Because now you're going to need a plan to move forward with being the new you in your new state of mind, in your new state of emotions. So this is where you start by revisiting your goals. Are the goals that you had before the setback still align to where you are and who you are and what you want today? Do your goals need tweaking or need any type of adjusting? And then you want to move forward to create an actionable step, one step that you can take in the next 24 hours to move the needle. So this could be making a phone call. This could be setting aside 30 minutes to create some strategy. This could be outlining your next plan. This is about taking small steps forward to get progress and to regain momentum. It's extremely powerful for you to do this after a setback, because this is going to help you get out of the funk that you're feeling and actually begin moving forward. And key number 5 is to rebuild your confidence, because sometimes setbacks can chip away at your confidence. It can chip away at how you feel about yourself. So I want you to remind yourself of who you are. Like, the circumstance that happened does not define you. Remind yourself of your wins, your big wins, your small wins. And I want you to write down 3 times in the past that you've overcome challenges. And I want you to reflect on what exactly made you successful, because that strength that you experienced is still in you. You also want to make sure that you are intentional about not isolating yourself. Surround yourself with positive voices, mentors, friends, books, up-leveled podcasts, anything that's going to fuel your belief in yourself and help you to restore your confidence, because confidence is a muscle. And so your setbacks honestly are a part of the workout. All right. So to recap, you want to acknowledge and accept, feel your feelings, extract your lessons, reset and refocus, and rebuild your confidence. And remember that setbacks are not the end of your story. It's just a plot twist that makes the victory even sweeter, right? So if today's episode resonated with you, share this with someone that you know who needs a bit of encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful episodes. And if you're ready, if you've been feeling like your writing or your business growth has been in setback stage for you, then I want to invite you to join us at the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit. It's going up Saturday, July 12th in Alpharetta, Georgia. You can click the link in the show notes or visit www.7figurebestseller.com to secure your ticket before tickets go up. I'll see you again on the next episode. Until next time, peace, love, and impact.